Hello and welcome back to Too Many Books. My name is Sean, and today I'd like to talk to you about The Haunted Forest Tour by James A. Moore and Jeff Strand. This particular edition that I'm showcasing in the video here is the hardcover edition from Earthling Publications, but this is available as a trade release as well. But more details on that once we're done talking about the novel itself. So the titular Haunted Forest is a pine forest that has suddenly sprouted up in New Mexico that is filled with all sorts of evils. You see this almost like Sergeant Pepper style cover of all sorts of monsters and beasts on the for the artwork here, and that is kind of what you can expect. And Americans, being what we are here, have decided to capitalize on it by making haunted forest tours. Yes, you yourself can hop on a little tram and ride through the outskirts of this forest and see all of those beasts and wonders that will give you nightmares to come. And this particular Halloween, you are going a little bit deeper than normal into the haunted forest, and you are following this slew of protagonists and what is surely going to be the haunted forest tour from absolute hell. So you don't want to wander too far into the forest, because those who wander too far into the forest are never seen again. But hey, you know, it's Halloween. Might as well see how far we can go with the tram. And if you're thinking, man, I'm sure this is going to end poorly. Yeah, it does. You've probably read or seen Jurassic Park, and you're going to kind of get the same instance here, you know, where people are going to capitalize on showcasing things they probably shouldn't be playing with. And, well, the tour isn't going to go as smoothly as planned. The trams are going to, one tram's going to break down, causing a bit of a collision, causing people to get stranded, and causing absolute mayhem and chaos to ensue. I don't know if you've ever seen if you've ever seen the film The Cabin in the Woods. If you haven't, you should go watch it. It's a comedy horror film that it's remarkable. Go in with as little knowledge as possible, and the final act of that is very memorable for just being absolute chaos in terms of just providing you with monsters and creatures and all sorts of baddies. And that is very much what the Haunted Forest Tour is like. This did predate the film, by the way. But that's the best way to talk about the Haunted Forest Tour. It is that final act of The Cabin in the Woods and Jurassic Park kind of melded together, which for like a creature feature monster lover, you are absolutely going to love it. If you're looking for, you know, actual serious fiction, you've probably come to the wrong place to begin with. And I will say that is the strongest part of the Haunted Forest Tour. I mean, each and every single page is brimming with new encounters and new creatures, and it does not hold back. Whether you're running into your traditional ghosts or werewolves or what have you, or ogres, what have you, or giant flying birds, or even a dragon, or gigglers, as they call them in the narrative. You are running into all sorts of horrors, page after page, as gruesome, grisly deaths will soon follow. Now, you're probably thinking, man, gruesome, grisly deaths, that sounds like you're going to lose a lot of characters. And that is true as well. One thing I will say is that in typical creature feature fashion, you shouldn't get too attached to these characters. Thankfully, the Haunted Forest Tour provides you an absolute ton of them, which also is kind of a trade-off as well. I'm sure I would have loved this book. I did enjoy this book. I will say that. It was a very fun read. But it's a very fun kind of turn your brain off type of read. I'm sure I would have absolutely loved this book and would have been an absolute classic if I felt more attached to the characters. But because there is such a wide range of point of view characters and people that you are running into in this story, there's not real characterization to any of them. You never really get below the surface. You know, I thought maybe it was going to follow Christopher and his mom. Those are the ones that kind of start the novel off as they go on the tour, but you soon find yourself following this character and that character and SWAT teams, or security teams, I should say, and, you know, tram drivers, helicopter pilots, everybody. I mean, just like how you're running in all sorts of monsters, you're running in all sorts of protagonists. So you're going to really kind of take these things at face value. They're very much just pawns to be used in this elaborate game of chaos and grisly splatterpunk monster violence that will ensue. But, I mean, as long as you have no problem not getting attached to any of the characters, then hell, I mean, the Haunted Forest Tour is one hell of a ride. I mean, one hell of a tour. Ha ha! And it's definitely worth checking out. I mean, it does have a little bit of, I imagine, I don't really know where Jeff Strand's writing ends and where James A. Moore's writing begins. It seems to be blended pretty well within. There's definitely a little bit of humor kind of scattered in, not as guffawish as Jeff Strand's books usually are. But, you know, the gruesome nature of Jeff Strand's books definitely shines through this one as well. And James A. Moore, I think I've only read one book by him, Deeper. I'm pretty sure it was a read by him, but I'm pretty sure that they definitely complemented each other well within this novel. So yeah, if you're looking for a nice turn-your-brain-off read that's perfect for Halloween time, you can read it at any time, really. It just happens to take place on Halloween, so it makes a good Halloween read. And check out the Haunted Forest Tour by James A. Moore and Jeff Strand. I don't know what Jeff Strand's middle initial is. I don't think it's an A. Like I said, this edition is the signed hardcover from Earthling Publications. This was the original publication back in 2007. Every single year, Earthling does a Halloween title, which doesn't necessarily have to take place on Halloween. This one just happens to take place on the the titular day of the line here. This is actually technically the fourth release. They started with a year zero, which only had like 15 copies, but this is the third actual numbered release by it. It's kind of a little bit rarer on the secondary market if you want to find this particular copy. It's very nice. It's a nice little cloth-bound book, sewn binding, signed by both of them with a little bit of interior artwork from Glenn Chadbourne. But in the years since, it has gotten a full trade release, which is going to be much more easier to find. You can find it for just a couple bucks, honestly. And although James A. Moore has passed on, Jeff Strand is still alive and kicking. And I should have double-checked, but you might even be able to pick up a copy of the trade edition from Jeff Strand's own bookstore, his online shop, and he might be able to sign it or personalize it directly to you. I know he signs a bunch of books through his website, and I believe he might have the trade edition there for your reading pleasure, which would be much cheaper in the long run. But anyways, the Haunted Forest Tour, like I said, it's a great great mending of Jurassic Park meets the end of the Cabin in the Woods. All sorts of gruesome monsters lie within. Definitely one worth checking out. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel here. I do at least one book review a week with plenty of other unboxing videos, including the most recent Halloween titles. Like I said, this is 2007. We're on number 3. We're now up to number 20 with The Widows of Winding Gale by Keelan Patrick Burke, which also has Glenn Chadbourne's artwork on it. I've heard great things. It's in my TBR pile, but hey, I'm finally catching up to the 2007 Halloween book, so, it might be a little while before I get to the newest one, but once I have read the newest one, I'll do a review for that as well. So anyways, check out Earthling Publications, check out the Haunted Forest Tour, check out James A. Moore and Jeff Strand, and we'll see you around next time.